Andrew Loog Oldham, the manager of the Stones, was the person that Lennon and McCartney happened to meet in 1963. The Beatles were steadily climbing the rock ranks at the time, while the Stones were still struggling to gain their footing in the music industry. There is a lot of controversy around the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Rock enthusiasts are going to find it to be really meaningful. When it comes to their choice, everyone is adamant about sticking to it. There was a period when the band's friendly competition was genuine, despite the fact that they do not necessarily fan that flame these days. Since John Lennon and Paul McCartney wrote a single for the Rolling Stones in the early 1960s, their careers as a band have been intertwined ever since. Here is a recap of that story. In the book titled Rocks Off 50 Tracks That Tell the Story of the Rolling Stones, Bill Janovitz said that Oldham had almost literally bumped into John Lennon and Paul McCartney as they stepped out of a cab. It was the Stones' rehearsal studio, and he encouraged them to come and watch them. What had been a McCartney sketch of a concept was completed by the two, and they gave it to the Stones to use as the basis for their song. A song called I Wanna Be Your Man was the one in dispute. In spite of the fact that the Beatles would later release their own rendition of the upbeat song, the Stones were the first to release it themselves. The band was able to establish themselves in England as a result of this, and it also enabled them begin to differentiate themselves from other mop tops. The Stones' rendition of this song has a slightly more aggressive tone than the Beatles' rendition had. In the course of both of the band's careers, this pattern would be observed repeatedly. It was just the right amount of difference to provoke the inquiry. When compared to the Rolling Stones, which band is more popular? Even though they are compared to the Beatles, the Stones do not deny the fact that the Beatles were instrumental in helping them get their start. We might not have ever witnessed the Stones' success to the extent that they have if it weren't for the song I Wanna Be Your Man,